Recently, I learned of the Battle of Saragarhi, which occurred in modern-day Pakistan on September 12, 1897. That's in a little under 2 weeks from the date of this video. Extra History has a great video on the battle if you haven't already seen it. Now, I've seen Saragarhi compared to the Battle of Thermopylae, which I personally only vaguely see. Thermopylae was 300 Spartans and a few thousand other Greeks, who fought a delaying battle against hundreds of thousands of Persians. Saragarhi was 21 soldiers, all of the same race and religion, who fought for the British Empire, holding out in a suicidal defense against Afghani rebels. A battle like this makes me think a little more closely that of Torii Mototada's infamous last stand at Fushimi Castle. Torii Mototada was the son of one of the castellans of Okazaki Castle during the waning days of the Matsudaira clan. When the young heir of the Matsudaira, at that time known as Takechio, was given over to the Imagawa clan and sent to Sumpu as a political hostage, Mototada was sent along with him to be one of his bodyguards and pages. Takechio was 9 years old and Mototada was 13. Now, some years later, Takechio would come to be known as Matsudaira Motonobu, and then, long story short, he would eventually change his name to Tokugawa Ieyasu. During all this time, Mototada was very close to the future Ieyasu. Mototada fought in many of Ieyasu's battles, including being regarded as one of the generals tasked with setting up the myriad of palisades during the Battle of Nagashino that broke the Takeda army. Mototada also participated in the defeat at Mikadagahara before that. It is possible that during this time, he served as Ieyasu's Honjin-Hatamoto, the leader of the Camp Guard division, as we mentioned before in our video on Hatamoto, which I'll link to in the description if you haven't seen it yet. Regardless of his position, he served in most of Ieyasu's major battles: Anagawa, the Siege of Terabe, Takatenjin Castle, and the activities of the Battle of Suwahara. During that last particular engagement, Mototada is said to have led a scouting effort against the enemy forces, suffering a leg injury that would plague him for the rest of his life and force him to walk with a limp. Mototada didn't let the leg injury stop him, of course. He participated in the Second Battle of Takatenjin, wherein Ieyasu recaptured the castle from the Takeda. Then, in 1582, the same year as Akechi's betrayal of Nobunaga at Honnoji, the Tokugawa and the Hojo went to war. Mototada led a rearguard to protect Ieyasu's lands with 2,000 soldiers, against an overwhelming force of 10,000 Hojo warriors. Mototada not only succeeded in holding back the Hojo, but is said to have counterattacked and beaten them back decisively. For this, he was moved from his homeland of Okazaki to take over the recently captured Takeda lands around Tanimura Castle in Kai Province. This put Mototada as one of the first defensive lines against the Hojo, and also against the infamous Sanada clan of Ueda. In that battle, Mototada was one of 3 Tokugawa commanders besieging the castle of Sanada Masayuki, alongside other Tokugawa veterans Okubo Tadayo and Hiraiwa Masayoshi, with 7,000 troops. Fortunately for Mototada, he would not succeed in that battle. Mototada would again follow Ieyasu into battle when the latter participated in the invasion of Hojo lands in 1590. When Ieyasu was moved into the Kanto region following the Hojo defeat, Mototada was promoted to a position of daimyo in his own right, when Tokugawa granted him control of Shimosa Yahagi, worth some 40,000 koku. After this, Tokugawa became one of Toyotomi Hideyoshi's 5 most prominent vassals, alongside the lords of the Maida, Uesugi, Ukita, and Mori. During this time, Hideyoshi built a grand palace at Fushimi-Momoyama. In 1598, when Hideyoshi died and left his son, eventually known as Hideyori, in the care of Maida Toshie, Fushimi became a hotbed of political intrigue. A year later, when Toshie also died, care of young Hideyori technically fell to Ieyasu. An upstart samurai known as Ishida Mitsunari took control of Hideyori, and once again, long story short, war loomed on the horizon. Mototada was with Ieyasu when the man was living in Fushimi. Unfortunately, when it looked as though war was about to break out, Ieyasu was trapped in Fushimi with news that Ishida was coming with an army to arrest him. Ieyasu needed time to get back to his lands in the Kanto, and could very well pass through friendly lands to get there. But if Ishida caught up to him, it would end the war before it even began. This is where Mototada truly shines. And in a life of glorious successes and epic defeats, Mototada was about to lose the greatest, most important battle of his life. And everyone knew this, especially Mototada. Fushimi had to be captured by Ishida, who was marching from nearby Osaka Castle. Ieyasu fled Fushimi, leaving Mototada in charge of the castle. Before Ieyasu left, the two are said to have had a touching farewell, wherein Mototada promised his devout loyalty to the Tokugawa. In some accounts, they even embraced and wept with each other. Needless to say, Ieyasu fled the castle and headed east to his lands in Edo, as Ishida bore down on Fushimi with 40,000 troops. Mototada only had 2,000 men to guard the castle with. When Ieyasu was leaving, Mototada actually convinced Ieyasu to take more troops with him, figuring that sacrificing the entire garrison of Fushimi would just be a waste. Ishida demanded he surrender, and Mototada refused. He wrote a letter to his son, Torii Tadamasa, relating how many generations the Torii had served the Tokugawa, well, then known as the Matsudaira, and how his own brother had perished in one of the many battles Ieyasu had fought in. Mototada held out in Fushimi, outnumbered 20-1. On August 27th, in the year 1600, Ishida's 40,000 soldiers besieged Mototada's 2,000 men at the castle of Fushimi. One of the towers was set alight by Ishida's men, and a member of Mototada's garrison sacrificed himself to put out the flames. Mototada's troops held out until September 8th, at which point Ishida's men snuck a message inside the castle warning the wife and children of one of Mototada's men had been captured and were to be executed inside of the castle the following day, if the garrison did not surrender. Some stories suggest that the warrior declares his loyalty, but Mototada told him to save his family and betray them. Regardless of whether or not Mototada ordered the man to betray them, he did. He set one of the towers alight and helped Ishida's men break through the outer barricades. Mototada and his remaining garrison retired in the inner compartments of the castle and continued to hold out, just as the Sikh troops did at Satagari. Now Ishida set the castle keep on fire, and Mototada ordered his warriors to sally forth from the burning keep and engage in sortie after sortie against Ishida's forces. When the 2,000-man garrison was cut down to only 10 men, Mototada retired into the burning keep to commit seppuku, so as not to give Ishida the satisfaction of taking his life, and the remaining 10 warriors fought Ishida's troops to their last breath. This bought Tokugawa Ieyasu 10 much-needed days to reconnoiter with his forces and amass a sizable army, allowing him to eventually engage Ishida on equal terms and best him at the Battle of Sekigahara. Ieyasu is said to have wept when news reached him of the sacrifice of Torii Mototada and his garrison at Fushimi-Momoyama Castle. Special thanks to everyone who came to see us at Otakon last month. We did take video there, and hopefully within the next month or two, once everything's edited and good to go, we'll have the videos up, and that'll put a few more videos on the Summer Gaiden channel for you guys to watch, in case you weren't able to make it.